Deadly police road incidents. Case 1. Daniel Vasquez. A routine police traffic stop in Kansas City took a haunting turn as gunfire shattered the calm morning of Tuesday, July 19, 2022. Officer Daniel Vasquez embarked on what seemed like a routine interaction near the crossroads of 21st Street and Clay Street. A seemingly innocuous gray Ford Taurus with expired tags caught his attention, prompting him to approach the vehicle, a trip to a gun shop for ammunition being its intended destination. As Officer Vasquez neared the driver's door, destiny took a malevolent twist. Swift as a shadow, the assailant, 24-year-old Joshua Rocha, picked up the rifle and unleashed a barrage of bullets as Vasquez reached the door. Rocha emerged from the Ford, his malevolence undeterred. With cold precision, he aimed once again at the helpless officer, now grounded.
A.M. on July 19th of last year, when Officer Daniel Vasquez pulled over a driver with an expired tag. As he walked to the driver's side window to ask for ID, the driver shot him.
Rocha exhibited a chilling callousness, reloading his weapon and raining down 2 more shots upon the already wounded officer before fleeing into the distance, leaving Vasquez wounded by the roadside. In an astonishing display of resilience, Vasquez clung to life and was rushed to North Kansas City Hospital, though the 32-year-old would ultimately succumb to his injuries. Driven by desperation, the assailant embarked on a frantic endeavor to obliterate the traces of his heinous act. He shaved his goatee, changed his clothes, and even sprayed the back of his vehicle a different color in an effort to conceal his identity.
Court records also show that Rocha admitted to changing his appearance and the appearance of his car. Investigators indicated that when they took the car into evidence, the trunk had been spray painted a different color. Rocha also allegedly said he shot Officer Vasquez because he didn't want to go to jail or have his car towed.
He was now a wanted man and the subject of a statewide manhunt by law enforcement authorities who were relentless in their pursuit and would not stop until he was apprehended. Guilt finally catching up with him, compelling Rocha to surrender himself to the Kansas City Police Department 3 hours after the dreadful incident. Asked for the reason why he shot the officer. In a stark police interview, Rocha stated to police that he ironically shot the officer because he did not want to go to jail or have his vehicle towed. Charged with first-degree murder and armed criminal action, Rocha's fate hangs in the balance. The Clay County Prosecuting Attorney's Office is relentlessly pushing for the highest degree of prosecution, with the possibility of the death penalty looming over him in his September 2025 trial. His bond stands at a staggering $2 million. But that's not the only shocking thing about the perpetrator. An unsettling twist emerged as investigators probed Rocha's life further. A search of his property unveiled a 3D printer and a 3D printed gun, a testament to his disturbing craftsmanship. Officer Daniel Vasquez, the tragic casualty of this heinous act, became the first fallen officer in the North Kansas City Police Department, a tenure spanning 2 years. As grief envelopes his parents, 2 sisters, fiancé, and countless loved ones, his demise serves as a haunting reminder of the dangers faced by officers daily. In a poignant tribute, a stretch of Armour Road now bears the name Officer Daniel Vasquez Memorial Highway, an enduring testament to a life cut short in the line of duty, a life that embodied sacrifice and service. Case 2. Charles Stepatich. A life and promising career cut tragically short, that's what the state of Pennsylvania will mourn in the aftermath of an unnecessary confrontation targeted at an off-duty patrolman. On Sunday, July 3, 2022, Charles Stepatich became suspicious when he noticed a man tailing him in his vehicle on Route 28. Stepatich's concern growing as he sensed a vehicle tailing him on the Route 28. A quick call for help to his father revealed the distressing situation. Road rage had escalated into something more sinister. In the cover of darkness, the officer feared an increasingly ominous fate was laid out for him.
Dash cam footage from McSwiggan's truck on the night of July 3rd was shown in court.
Really?
Stepatich was off-duty driving in a red Ford Taurus on Freeport Road in Blawnox when he got into another lane.
With the stage set in the quiet of night, Stepatich parked outside his parents' residence on Fountain Street in Blawnox, right around 10:30 p.m. Stepping out from his vehicle, he unknowingly walked into a confrontation that would shatter lives. Kevin Allen McSwiggan, now etched into this tragic story, emerged as a central figure, his intentions murky and sinister. A confrontation between McSwiggan and the off-duty patrolman began, As the charged standoff unfurled, Stepatich's father courageously intervened, positioning himself between the warring parties. A verbal exchange, heavy with implications, hung in the air, but the rage within Max Wiggin could not be quelled, and what followed was a descent into chaos and despair.
Dashcam footage from McSwiggan's truck on the night of July 3rd was shown in court.
Really?
Stepatich was off duty driving in a red Ford Taurus on Freeport Road in Blawnox when he got into another lane.
I'd be more than happy to around with you like this.
A forceful shove sent the father crashing to the ground, an ominous precursor to a sequence of events that were to come. With chilling precision, Max Wiggin produced a weapon. The gunshot that followed struck Stepatich fatally in the abdomen, sealing his fate in an instant. With the threat now turned towards the father, a standoff unfolded. Yet it was the son's rapid and unwavering response that cast a fleeting light amidst the darkness. Armed with determination and a firearm, he acted swiftly, firing a single shot that neutralized the aggressor, sparing his father from further danger. The echoes of those fateful shots pierced the night, summoning fellow officers to the scene. Arriving around 10:35 p.m., they were met with tragedy. They attended to the injured officer and found the attacker sitting in his pickup nursing his wounds where they apprehended them. In a devastating twist, Stepatich's battle did not end at the scene. Rushed to Allegheny General Hospital, his valiant struggle against his injuries ultimately ended in heartbreak. Meanwhile, Max Wiggin, aged 40, underwent surgery to mend his wounds before being remanded to Allegheny County Jail. Facing charges of criminal homicide and reckless endangerment, his aspirations of freedom denied by the judge's ruling. In the wake of this inexplicable tragedy, a question lingers: what spurred this senseless attack on an off-duty Oakland officer? According to the prosecutors overseeing the case, the assailant believed that the officer cut him off along Route 28. Angered by this road incident, Max Wiggin followed the officer home. The true tragedy lies in the fact that a vibrant life was extinguished over a trivial encounter on the road. It was his childhood dream to become a Marine, which he succeeded in accomplishing. His next mission was to become a police officer. He achieved both before the promising officer's life was cut short at just 23 years old. A mere 10 days had passed since his graduation from the Municipal Police Academy, and he had only just served 2 days with the Oakdale Borough Police Department. His path had been paved by his service as a United States Marine Corps veteran, a legacy now intertwined with the realm of law enforcement, a realm that is now left bereft and grappling with the profound loss he has left behind. Now his parents, brother, and grandparents, along with friends and colleagues, must come to terms with their loss. Case 3. Bradley Johnson. A police chase in Alabama turned into a chaotic ambush after shots were fired at 2 deputies, which led to deadly consequences for a Bibb County Sheriff's officer. It's the evening of June 29, 2022. 2 deputies, Brad Johnson and Chris Poole, are patrolling the streets when they spot a stolen vehicle. Undeterred by danger, they spring into action, pursuing the suspect without a second thought. Little did they know, their brave decision would lead them down a perilous path they could never have anticipated. The stolen vehicle comes to a halt at around 4 p.m., near the crossroads of Alabama 25 and Bulldog Bend Road. But the perpetrator, 26-year-old Austin Patrick Hall, is far from ready to surrender. In fact, he's just getting started. In a shocking turn of events, Hall takes aim at the deputies, firing shots that find their mark with deadly precision, hitting both officers in the head. Their lives hang in the balance as Hall flees on foot, leaving devastation in his wake. What follows is a relentless manhunt, an urgent mission to bring this violent fugitive to justice. Around 16 enforcement agencies join forces, a unified front that includes the FBI and the K-9 Bureau. For the next 16 hours, a relentless pursuit unfolds, a testament to the unwavering determination of these officers to capture the assailant, no matter the cost. Meanwhile, Deputy Poole fights for his life, transported to UAB Medical Center for emergency treatment. In a miraculous twist of fate, Poole survives and, against all odds, is expected to make a full recovery despite the gunshot wound to his head. Tragically, Deputy Johnson's injuries prove insurmountable, and the heart-wrenching decision is made to remove him from life support the following day. A 7-year veteran at the Bibb County Sheriff's Office, Johnson leaves behind a grieving fiancé, 2 children, and heartbroken parents, a legacy of dedication and sacrifice.
They searched all through the night. Then finally, around 7:30 this morning, they caught a break. We were there as Bibb County Sheriff's deputies, U.S. Marshals, and others surrounded this home on Bulldog Bend Road. This is where Hall was finally taken into custody.
As the investigation deepens, it's revealed that Hall is no stranger to violence, boasting a staggering 46 convictions to his name. Yet the justice system's attempts to curb his actions seem to have fallen short. Hall's criminal history is rife with escapes and early releases, highlighting the failings of the system meant to protect society. In a cruel twist of fate, Hall's history of criminality emerges, his escape from a work release center in 2019, and an early release from a 10-year sentence due to good behavior incentives. It's a bitter pill to swallow, as this very leniency cost Deputy Johnson his life.
Of killing a Bibb County Sheriff's deputy is now indicted on capital murder charges. Austin Hall is accused of shooting and killing Deputy Brad Johnson last summer. Hall had an extensive criminal record at the time and was free after earning good time for an unrelated felony conviction. The incident led lawmakers this year to adjust the terms for how good time is earned.
Regrettably, it took the death of a devoted deputy to provoke Alabama government officials to criticize the good time laws, which let a high-risk felon walk free. In April 2023, the Deputy Brad Johnson Act was signed into law, which limits the amount of time that felons can cut off their sentences for good behavior. The tragic loss of a dedicated deputy became a catalyst for change. In April 2023, the Deputy Brad Johnson Act was signed into law, aiming to reform the good behavior incentives by limiting the amount of time that felons can cut off their sentences for good behavior. It's a step toward justice, a measure to help ensure that such tragedies are not in vain.
Dozens of law enforcement agencies from all over the state rode in the procession to honor Deputy Johnson. Along the route, you saw people with their hand over their hearts. Some saluted while others wiped away tears.
Hall finds himself behind bars, held without bond at the Shelby County Sheriff's Office, facing 3 capital murder charges, one for taking the life of a law enforcement officer, another for discharging a weapon into an occupied vehicle, and a third for attempted murder. As legal proceedings unfold, the Alabama Attorney General's office makes its stance clear. Hall could face the death penalty or life imprisonment without parole for his heinous acts against these devoted law enforcement officers. In a dramatic twist, Hall pleads not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect during an arraignment at the Shelby County Jail in August 2023. The saga continues as Hall undergoes evaluations to determine his mental capacity to stand trial, leaving us hanging on the edge of our seats, awaiting the next chapter in this gripping and tragic tale. If you enjoyed this video, then please show your support for this channel by liking, subscribing, or leaving a comment with your thoughts on this video.